My guest today was divinely ordered to be on the show. I needed to have a conversation with this guest because I have some issues and I'm looking for God and looking for GPS. She has been named already 2025 Amazon Music Artist to Watch. And I love that her music is coined Christian R&B, but I believe R&B is R&B. Good music is good music. We are this destination for music and culture discovery. So welcome to the show, Lee Vasi. How are you today?
Hello, I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
I love that. Um, and I laughed and I said, wow, Christian R&B.
Yes.
When you started singing, because we want to discover you, but I'm curious to know when you heard that coin Christian R&B, were you comfortable with that? Because you are a singer.
Yeah.
So
It,
that genre.
yeah, I'm definitely comfortable with it. It definitely reflects where I am with the Lord and with the creativity and the gifts that He's given me. So yeah, it's Christian R&B.
I love it. I love it. I've had fun really researching you and finding more about you. So I want to start back from the beginnings. You were born in Fayetteville. Were you raised in
Yes.
Fayetteville, North Carolina?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Wow. A good friend of mine, the comedian Affion Crockett, is also from Fayetteville. I know a lot of different people.
Yeah.
And now you reside where?
I'm in Atlanta.
Okay. Being
hmm
in Atlanta, how is that scene for you musically in that community?
Yeah, I love it. I Atlanta's definitely home. I feel like I've really kind of become myself, in Atlanta and really discovered a lot about myself and my faith in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I really have such an amazing community and just really dope people that I've been able to encounter from all different, walks of life and different places. So yeah, I love it. And I'm really grateful definitely for the really cool CHH and Christian R&B kind of hub that it is.
Yeah.
We have some really cool things going on. So yeah, I love it.
I love it. When you hear these accolades, your Amazon Music 2025 Artist to Watch, you on the Billboard charts. How does that feel right now in your musical journey?
Man, it feels really, really humbling.
Hmm.
I've had a journey to get here. And it's just so cool that, you know, the things that people are watching me for are really giving glory to God. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so dope, man. Like I said, like it's really been an interesting journey and an interesting path to get here. So I'm just soaking it in. I'm really grateful.
Let's talk about your path. You your beginnings. When did you first get connected and get the bit by the bug of singing and just loving music?
Music I feel like has just always kind of been in me. My mom loves to tell this story of like when I was a little baby and I was like breastfeeding, I would like hum back to her what she would hum to me when I was like months old. And so I really honestly don't even remember like when I started singing. Definitely around the house, like my siblings and I would sing together. And I just kind of happened to start performing really early on. When I was 7, I started doing musical theater in Fayetteville at the local theater, and that really gave me a really good kind of a training ground for what I didn't even know that my hobby at the time would turn into my career so early on. But that's kind of what happened. So yeah, music has just always been in me, and I got the bug. I don't know when I came out.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
And I find it so interesting. So Broadway, you did theater in Fayetteville, but you also went to Broadway
I
and you were
did.
Nyla on The Lion King.
Yeah.
That experience, when you see the different um, revisions of the Lion King, do you sing along with them? How is that knowing like I did that part, I know it from front to back when you see all these
Yeah.
different versions?
Yeah, The Lion King really is something that has stayed with me. It was such a life changing and also kind of like path asserting experience for me because I was 9 when I booked it.
Wow.
And I did it for a year and a half. So, it's so funny that all these years later, I honestly, like, I still have dreams about it sometimes. And, I just saw Mufasa over Christmas with my siblings. And it just definitely has a special place in my heart. And it's amazing to even kind of be a part of the history of it at all.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. And you kept going. Like you really are growing up in the music business because from Broadway, you also had you were a part of American Idol.
Yeah.
How did that experience prepare you in addition to just growing up for where you are now?
Yeah. So it came at a time where I kind of needed a push
Mhm.
to kind of get back on the horse. There were some things that had gone on in my personal life where I was kind of starting to really feel like, I don't know if I have the courage to keep going in this, and I don't even know who I am. And there was just a lot going on at that time. And so when it came into my life, it was something that I just kind of was like, okay, I'm going to take this as an opportunity to grow through something and learn more about myself. And that's what it was for me. So I'm grateful for the experience for sure.
I love that. And when we talk about your music now, just you've been putting out a lot of music like back to back to back. How has this journey been just the promotions of it, just releasing? How is that feeling with you releasing all this music now?
Yeah. Oh man, it's been so beautiful and really has felt like kind of starting from square one. I did take about a 2-year hiatus from anything creative and was trying to find myself again, and really just figure out who I am going from, a kid to a teenager to a young adult. And in that process, I really found God and found a relationship with the Lord and found a whole different meaning and understanding for why I was given the desire to sing and perform and write music. And so when I started putting out these new songs and this new kind of iteration of me as an artist, it really felt like I was starting from square one. And I didn't have an audience. I didn't know who I was writing for or to. I was really just kind of writing out my heart to God, and that's where all of these songs came from. And so it's been really, really amazing just to see the way that this new music has been resonating with so many people and really, really changed my life and showed me so much about God in the process too.
What I love about you, and I said you were divinely ordered when I talk about this new single, GPS. Wow. Yeah. I had to the lyrics of it. How did you all come up with this song and being in the studio creating this? Because it's very. I needed it. I'm glad you're
Oh,
here. I'm glad you're here.
wow.
This
Wow.
song GPS. How was it created? And when you guys were in your writers' room putting it together.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that with me. I'm so touched hearing that. So actually I was asleep. And I was woken up out of my sleep in the middle of the night with this melody. Do, 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 right? And I knew that it was a divine inspiration because I had been trying to write and I wasn't able to finish any songs, right? And I just was kind of in this drought. I didn't know what to talk to God about, what to express about God or to God at the time. And I was woken up out of my sleep with this melody. I took a voice memo of it, and while I'm in the middle of taking the voice memo of it, um, I'm hearing the Lord speak to my spirit and tell me like, you don't have to know what's on the other side of all of these things that you're learning through and growing through right now. Just take the first step and trust me to lead you the rest of the way. And that's how the song came about. I went to the studio the next day. And I came to the producers with the voice memo that I had taken, and they ended up putting it in the production itself. It's a central element of the song. And I wrote the song in about 2 hours, recorded it in another hour, hour and a half. And it became GPS. And yeah, it was really, really divinely inspired. So yeah, really, really cool. And I'm so glad it's out now because it really resonates with me on a level too. Like it's such a reminder for me too. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna circle back to GPS. I
Okay.
know one of your first songs was "Teach Me."
Hmm.
Um, I'm curious first to know who are some of your musical influences?
Sure. So I am a big Mariah Carey girl. Selena also. I was really inspired to start songwriting because of like Neo. I started writing songs when I was a kid because I was watching like VH1, MTV, Behind the Music, and I was like, okay, I need to learn how to write songs because Neo writes songs, Mariah Carey writes songs. So yeah, so those were my main influences growing up.
Yeah. When I said R&B is R&B, and when we talk about Christian R&B, there's so many songs that, for example, Music Soul Child's Love,
Mm-hmm.
Singing to the Lord. I know there's a Maxwell song he was singing to God. Were you ever at a crossroad of I need to just sing R&B instead of singing for the Lord?
Well, when I first started kind of pursuing a career in entertainment, I wasn't thinking of being in the Christian space or being this. I love to sing, I love to songwrite, and I always kind of had a God would always give me visions for the vision, right?
Mhm.
But it really took my life having some kind of twists and turns
Yeah,
and really understanding what it is to have a relationship with the Lord, and not just what people have told me about him, or going to church and kind of halfway paying attention as a kid. It took me really like coming to know him, to understand what it is to use my gifts to serve him, you know what I'm saying, and to serve his people. So it was definitely a journey, but at this point, I'm so pleased and happy to be able to sing to him, sing about him,
yeah.
and really point people who are listening to me to him, because that's what it's all about.
I have when you have ups and downs in life. So I have a special verse, and I smiled when I saw you have a special verse, Genesis 4:7.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go look at it. If you do what is right, will you not be accepted? But if you do not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. It desires to have you, but you must rule over it.
Mm.
How did you get how were you directed to that verse?
Well, I started to read the Bible. I wanted to read the Bible front to back for myself, right? I think I started in 2023 reading it, and I started in Genesis. And I had like skimmed through, the Bible before, but I'd never really sat down and read it, and definitely never read it to understand God. I would always read it to like understand me.
Mhm.
And so when I was reading through Genesis, this verse came up, and it's God talking to Cain. And in the next verse, Cain kills Abel, right?
Yeah.
So this really stuck out to me because God knew what Cain was about to do and tried to give him a GPS, shameless plug ding, to like not to master the sin and don't give in to that temptation, right? And I think that just really shows the compassion and the loving nature of God. And that's just stuck with me right through my growth in my relationship with him, and just as a woman, right? Being able to understand that it's like temptation never stops, right? But like you do have the power through the Lord to be master over it. It doesn't have to be master over your life. You don't have to, fall to it. You have an option here. You have free will here. And God is trying to give you a heads up, like, hey, look at me.
Yeah.
Don't look at this, look at me. So yeah, that verse really resonates with me.
2023 was a big year, a pivotal year for you.
Mm-hmm.
You said 2023 you stopped drinking alcohol,
Yeah.
and I want you to I would love to hear more about your faith
Mm-hmm.
in God and just how that faith just leads you with your ministry and with your music.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, my faith is my core. It is where I draw strength from. And my faith is truth, right? I think that through my faith, I've learned that like there's truth, and I think that in my growing up, right? I think that I used to cling to so many things of, trying to find liberation and, things that, society or the media was telling me is where my freedom was, or, how to just feel liberated. I really wanted to feel liberated. And in my faith in Jesus is that's where I found my liberation. That's where I
Yeah.
found my true liberation, and stopping drinking alcohol was a personal conviction thing. That was, in doing so, I able to focus on what was ahead and what he was kind of calling me to. So I've been growing a lot in obedience, and in shedding old ways, and really just kind of clinging to my faith as truth.
I love that. Your music, I feel it is a ministry. When you're on stage and you're singing your songs, is there a song that you sing that you've released that really, like, you get emotional,
Mm-hmm.
um, and really connects for you?
Yeah. Yeah. So Baptize Me is actually one that while I was recording it, I had to take like a 30-minute break because I was just so overwhelmed, really by the
Mhm.
Holy Spirit. Like it was a palpable feeling in the studio. And I wrote that song after I had gotten baptized, and I was just felt so inspired by, the newness that you like immediately feel, and so Baptize Me really has a special place in my heart and my spirit. And also, I mean, Teach Me, it's always my last song at my shows. And it's really warms my heart to hear people sing along to it, and singing it at me. I don't even have to sing it. you know and it's just so cool. It's just so cool.
I love that. God is still in control, right?
Yes. Yes.
Um, I'm proud of you because you stand very strong in it. I love that you are interacting with going to New York Fashion Week. I see all these different people, different celebrities commenting on you. How does it feel to be an ambassador? Like an ambassador look of Christian R&B music.
Yeah. You know, I haven't thought about it that much, to
Yeah.
be honest, of being an ambassador. But I'll take it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think more than anything, in any room that, that I'm given access to and called to, like I'm there to reflect the character of Christ, and it's really, really cool for me to be able to be here at Fashion Week and meet so many amazing people, and be able to do, just have a fun night, and or a fun morning or day, and just find a new version of myself in these spaces too.
Mhm.
I kind of had been in a bubble for a little bit, right, as I was really growing in my convictions and stopping drinking and everything, right. And so it's really cool for me to be here and see who I am in these spaces with Jesus by my side. So I'm having a great time, and I'm just like, everything is so cool right now. I can't even like that's what I got, man.
That's beautiful. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. So we're having these singles. Please tell me about the full project because I know you're working on something.
Yeah, I got a lot of music.
Mhm.
Um, I kind of never stop. I love songwriting, and I never want to push anything or rush anything beyond kind of the time frame, that because it's always important for me that I'm collaborating with the Holy Spirit, and I'm never just songwriting to songwrite. So yeah, there's some new songs coming out this year, a lot of amazing surprises.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to just keep going and see what the year has for me. It started off so amazing. So I can't wait to see how the rest of the year is going to unfold.
Your smile, we hear your smile while you're talking. And last, has there been any goosebump moment that you have encountered to date on your journey so far?
Oh, so many. I think mainly that happens when people share their testimonies with me, and the way that my music is helpful to them. I never And that's just how it's God. I cannot take credit for like the things
Yeah.
that God is doing through the music that I make. Really, I'm just participating in it. And it's just, I can't even believe that that I get to be here and sing these songs that's actually really, really helping people and their families and healing and again, just pointing people to God. So the whole thing is just a big old goosebump.
Wow. I
Yeah.
love that. Well, I'm so glad that you came to the Hybrid Soul and let us discover you. Imparting, I would love to know your ministry, because it is a ministry, music ministry. What would you like to share with your fans and people who are hearing this about your music that's out now and what you want your legacy to represent?
Mm. Wow. I think I would just love to kind of be a reminder to people of God's grace.
Yeah.
And you know that he wants to redeem you. Like God really loves redemption. You just have to invite him in, and he'll meet you wherever you invite him, you know. And you don't have to be perfect to receive God's love. You just have to love him and let him in, you know. And I just hope that my music is a reminder for that. And you know, legacy, I don't know, maybe ask me in a couple more years, but
Right.
right now I'm just, you know, I just hope that people can listen to my music. And it's my music is very vulnerable. It's things that I've gone through. So I just hope that people can be inspired and, you know,
Yeah. I
and
love
listen.
that.
Yeah.
This came over me. Final question.
Okay.
What is your go-to song when you're feeling down or when you're feeling joy? Like, what's the song that you keep close, that maybe you
Mhm.
come to yourself?
Yeah. Uh when I feel down, praise is what I do. Shekinah Glory Ministry. That's been my most played song on Spotify for the last 2 years. Of all the music I listen to, that's my go-to.
Yeah.
And uh I don't know, when I'm feeling joy, uh I really love In the Light by Anike. That's my girl also.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love that song. So yeah, those are my go-tos.
Well, thank you for thank you for joining us. I want to say keep shining, keep being this beautiful positive light. We look forward to more music, more Christian R&B, because we love it. We love it. And I look forward to seeing you on stage praising his name and bringing more souls to Christ.
Aw, thank you so
Okay.
much. Thank you
My
so much for
guest
having me.
I love this. My guest today is Lee Vasi. It's the Hybrid Soul with Kelly Kinkaid, your destination for music and culture discovery.